Finish up a little bit on this flail mower. We've had a lot of discussion since our last flail mower video, and I'm going to try to answer some questions and just talk about this thing a little bit more. One of the questions that I got is, how tough is this thing? This next clip will tell you a lot. This is one of those oh crap moments. I hope I didn't break something that went through my mind. A good sized piece of hickory got caught up in this flail mower, and I mean it wedged in good. It actually caused the tractor to quit. I mean it just bogged it down. After I got it out, I did a good inspection on the flail mower and make sure nothing looked bent, just kind of checked it out top to bottom. Then I cranked it up and let it run, spinning, just to make sure everything was still in balance. No worse for the wear. There is a small dent in the little sawtooth looking thing. That had nothing to do with that hickory. You can see here there was a big piece of oak firewood that I just went across. It dented that little sawtooth thing, but it absolutely splintered that firewood. I was really surprised that it didn't do more damage. Not one of the hammers was even chipped, and I think this is a testament to how well it's constructed and how well it'll hold up. This is another testament to how flexible it is. However flexible it is doesn't mean I've quite got the skill set figured out on this. I've still got plenty of room to grow. It's going to take me a good little minute to get the controls set up in what we call my mind's eye. Hey, as we finish this little part up here, we're going to show some more flail mower after this PTO adapter. But I kind of just made this PTO adapter up as a video all by itself, and then just decided to put it in the middle of this. So you guys bear with me, and it's kind of like two videos in one. That's a bargain, so you don't have to sit through all them extra YouTube commercials. Here's another good little angle where you can show how flexible this is. You couldn't just get this with a regular style mower. It just wouldn't work. You would have to do a lot of backing up off the top of that hill. But I was able just to roll right over the top of it. And the wheel on the back of the flail mower kept me out of the rocks for the most part. I absolutely hate hooking a PTO shaft up to the tractor. Because over the years, the PTO system was, originally the PTO system was open. You put a shaft up on it, and it was really easy to work. But due to safety, restraints and laws and litigation, all of the tractors and basically all the PTOs have now been covered in shielding. And that shielding makes it actually harder. It kind of defeats the purpose of a PTO shaft, which was easily slipped upon. So now we had to come up with some different types. There's different ways of hooking the PTO up that's a lot easier. You got to understand that PTO, the original PTO shaft, is well over 100 years old technology. So Small Farms Innovation sent me a PTO quick attach. Now I'm going to say this up front. We are not sponsored by Small Farms Innovation. We do not get paid by Small Farms Innovation. Phil at Small Farms Innovation is my friend, and he sent me one of these and said, hey, I want you to test this out and tell me what you think about it. So we're going to do exactly like that. He has the full understanding that I get to say what I truly think, and that's what really friends are about. However, he confidently sent me this attachment. So let's break it down and show it to you. All right, before we start putting this on the tractor, I'm going to show you how easy it is. It's going to be a short video. I do want to show you this. It's got threaded holes here. And what this is for like if you're gonna do like a bat wing, something 100 horsepower, you put the bat wing on, it's gonna stay on for a long time. You go ahead and you stab this thing, and then you just run these bolts up, and it's gonna guarantee that it's not gonna come apart. Not that it's gonna come apart anyway, but let's just say, for example, you get into some briars, something like that, and there is a possibility that you could pull this off. Put in the bolts together in here for like, dangerous type stuff like being in vines and, that kind of environment. It just makes sense to go ahead and put the bolts in and make it a permanent mount, especially if you're going to take your bat wing and you're going to run the bat wing for 2 weeks. It's easy to hook the bat wing up, put the 2 bolts in it. It makes it a permanent connection. And then when you get done, you take the 2 bolts out and you're done. For what we do here with 50 horsepower tractors, the pins are probably going to be, you know, everything we got is 50 horsepower and below, so the pins are going to be probably good enough for us. Don't think we're going to have any issues. All right, so with this system, you're going to have to do this one time. You're going to slide it up on, push the button, lock it into place. Because of the way it's made, it's just a lot easier to do. Then, you know, it's not big around as this shaft and heavy, and you're not trying to do all that at once. So we've got this on, it's locked on, it's permanent. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to take the PTO adapter and you're going to push the button on your PTO and rotate it around until you find that point that slips in. And then now that's locked into place. As I said before, you want to make sure that your PTO is in a neutral position so that it'll rotate freely. Just this flail mower's teeth are probably close to the ground. You don't want to have to try to rotate that flail mower over. Alright, so we've got the PTO shaft where it'll rotate freely. You just take the spikes, put them in the holes, slide them on. That is it. That is exactly how hard it is. That was all done in one take, so you know I didn't fake it. Put the pins in, and like I said, you can put the bolts. Put our safety pin, our safety chain back on, and we're good to go. All right, to take this thing off, it's just as easy. You're gonna pull the pins. So we take the last pin out, and as hard as it has to be is you grab the collar, pull it back, and that is that. I'm going to leave a link to Small Farms Innovations website here at the bottom of the video in the description. So you can click on it and reach out to them if you're interested in these. Again, I do not get paid anything for doing this. I do, however, think this is a fine product and probably one of the, I'm going to ease out there and say this is probably the easiest PTO quick adapter on the market right now. So let's get back to the flail mower. Some information I left out last time is this is a Titan 4-foot flail mower that articulates off to the side. It also will rotate up to a 65-degree angle while mowing. However, you can rotate it straight up and down. I would not recommend trying to mow with it straight up and down because it's just located in the position, and the way it turns, it possibly could throw stuff at you on the operator's seat. Here's a good example, probably the maximum that I would want to cut, you know, safely. It's done a really good job, and I never really felt like anything was throwing at me. This is a little back road that we just recently cut back in the woods, and there's little saplings all along the side, and it just absolutely mulched it to the ground. Hey, we really appreciate you watching our channel, and if you got any comments, leave it in the comment section below. God bless. Have a great day.